Let's move on to college football. We have week one action. Please welcome to the show, fresh off a 60+% against the spread in college basketball, looking to carry that over this year into college football. Joining us from Dallas, Texas, the star of Medicaid Mondays and the star of our brand new show every Saturday starting in 10 days, The Tailgate, and will be starring in 3 days on our first live stream of the year, the Dublin game. Please welcome Dabra Kadabra to the show. Dabby, how are you?
Man, Jimmy, what a treat we have on Thursday next week for college football early. Don't get me wrong. I'm like everyone else. I'll bet some action, but a big matchup like this, a big ACC matchup early on a Thursday, it doesn't get better than this, man.
This is the game of the night next Thursday. There is no doubt about this. And we get a week to marinate with this action. Let's get into the line history here. We are going to look at both Pinnacle and Bet Online. If you are looking for a new book, we have links to MyBookie, to Bet Online, to Bovada. We have Prize Picks. We have that all on our website. And great deals with MyBookie and Bet Online. Bet Online, by the way, 100% bonus up to $1,000 for a new account, and it doesn't have to be Bitcoin. Here at Pinnacle, Dabby Cab, two new quarterbacks running the scenes for these two teams. This line has not changed a cent. It opened up on Monday night at 8:43 p.m. with the Golden Gophers as 2.5-point favorites at -116, and it has not moved. Let's take a look at Bet Online. Bet Online is sitting here with a -2.5 at -117. Now we've had movement here. This opened up back on May 24th at Bet Online. And shout out to Bet Online for getting those lines out first. -1.5, -110. There was a point move on June 3rd to 2.5. And it stuck there. Now, on August 13th, this moved to -125 on the 2.5 to the Golden Gophers, which you expected a 3 was going to come, but there was 8 cents of buyback towards the Tar Heels. So we haven't had a lot of movement, so much so that Pinnacle has not moved it at all. Let's get into the total for this one. From a total perspective, we have a 50.5 at Pinnacle. Again, this is not moved. It's moved 2 cents to the under since this came out. 2 cents. That's it. Over at Bet Online, we have this total at 50. Now it's juiced to the over, and this opened up at 50.5, dropped to 50, got back up to 50.5, and is sitting here at 50. So a very slight move to the under. We have not been getting any cash flow information here from the Action Network, who we rely on for the cash flow information. That hasn't changed. We have no information on what's going on week one. Obviously, we pay for the service Action. So please give us some numbers as soon as possible, or we en masse will cancel our Action membership. Sons of bitches. Here we go. Now, one other interesting thing here in Huntington Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota, is we're a week away, Dabby Cab. If you look at the weather in a week, it's not good. 71 Fahrenheit, rain and thunderstorms, 11-mile-per-hour winds. The winds are a little stronger earlier in that evening, or around 4 or 5 o'clock local time. It gets about 14. 2-0 Nats. Let's go, BJ. We have it dying down the wind throughout the night. So halfway through the game, it's just 8 or 9 miles per hour. Now, do we sit here and believe that the weather is going to be like that in a week? Again, this August 22nd. This game pops up August 29th, but right now it's rain and thunderstorms. North Carolina beat up on Minnesota last year, but do we care at all? We'll let Dabby Cab explain if he cares at all what happened last year. Drake May, of course, led the Tar Heels. They won 31-13. So in comes Max Johnson, a quarterback you know very well, Texas A&M and LSU transfer. I'm looking forward to your breakdown of Max Johnson. We know Omarion Hampton is an absolute monster at running back and will lead this offense. Here is a big week one All eyes on him start for PJ Fleck at home, and he has Max Brosmer at quarterback. 4 seasons over 5 years. He redshirted 1 year, medical redshirt. After 4 seasons, 5 years at New Hampshire, Max Brosmer comes in, and thank God. Ethan Kaliakmanis was a disaster last year, and he was a disaster when these two teams met up. 11 for 29 for 133 yards in the pick. Last year, there were only 23 teams in America that had a worse scoring offense than the Golden Gophers, 20.9 points per game. We're expecting that to change in a hurry. Everybody in Minnesota is expecting that to change in a hurry. There's a lot of belief in Max Brosmer. Take it away for us, Dabby Cab. Tar Heels, Golden Gophers, North Carolina, Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't put much stock into last year. Minnesota seems to be ready for this game. They're gonna seat 50,000 in the stadium. It's not going to be an easy place to play. They've already announced it's going to be a gold out, so it'll be a cool sight to see. It's always fun to see when teams do whiteouts, gold outs, blackouts, whatever it may be. Darius Taylor, he was named MVP by Coach Fleck at the Quick Lane Bowl, coming back at running back, as a sophomore. They expect him to have a good season. They expect him to lead this offense. You touched on Brosmer, the New Hampshire transfer. I'm going to be honest. I've only seen his numbers. I have not actually got to watch the kid play yet, just because I haven't watched New Hampshire football. Forgive me for that. But yeah, they're expecting him to be a solid QB here. So they know what they're getting. And if you look at their offensive line, they've got 5 starters returning on the offensive line. And then on the defensive side, they've got 6 out of their 8 defensive line starters coming back. So you got a lot of production returning. And that all sounds great. Sounds beautiful, right? But last year, the Gophers, they were one of the worst third down defenses in college football. When teams ran the ball on them on third down, they were giving up 4.6 yards per carry. And when you're talking about, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, you cannot be giving that shit up on the ground. Excuse me, trying to keep the cussing out for these cuts. You cannot be giving that up on the ground. You just can't do it. They were giving up 40% of their third downs, just letting offenses just extend their drives too often. And then on the offensive side of the ball, they were 24th worst scoring offense in college football. So a lot of returning production, but that's kind of counterproductive if you're not returning good production, right? And now let's look at the other side here. Talking about Mac Brown and the North Carolina Tar Heels here. This is Mac Brown's 6th season as a head coach. I got to imagine, Jimmy, he's starting to form somewhat of an end game. He can't be thinking he's going to be there for too much longer. He's getting old. I've watched him almost my whole life, it feels like, coach. And you touched on Amarian Hampton. He might be one of the best running backs in the nation this year. He really is that talented. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if Minnesota, especially with the weather that you're talking about, I wouldn't be surprised if they stack the box. I'm talking like 8 people close to the line of scrimmage here. And if they do, the onus is going to fall on the QB. What you talked about, Max Johnson, I think he'll be getting the snaps here. They've got other options, Connor Harrell, Jacoby Criswell, but Johnson will be the guy. And I do not think Johnson's elite. Okay. He's not somebody that I put as a top tier quarterback. However, I do think that he's somebody with a running back like Hampton. If you're stuffing the box, he will beat you over the top. And I know Brown. I've watched him coach, like I said, almost my whole life. And what I expect him to do is I expect him to run, and then he's going to hit these deep. He's going to have some over the middle plays early in this game that I think are going to gash this Gophers defense. So I'm going to take North Carolina early here. Full transparency, I don't have a number offered yet on my book. I will get it probably in a day or two. So whatever the best line is, you can take, and I can tell you what I get as soon as I bet it.
So this is UNC first half on the spread or the money line?
Spread. I'm going to take the spread. It should be +1.5, maybe +1. I just genuinely think that, especially early on, Minnesota's they're going to have their eyes down. They're going to be looking for Hampton, and Johnson's going to hit them over the top. I really think it'll happen early.
Let's lock you in on this first half. Yes, we have a +1.5 at -110, +1.5 -112 at Pinnacle, +1.5 -110 at Bet Online. Does that work for you?
Yeah, let's take it.
All right, Cab is locked in. Cab is on UNC first half +1.5 at -115. I love it. North Carolina Tar Heels, Minnesota Golden Gophers, Huntington Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Thursday, August 29th. Dabby Cab has moved on the Tar Heels. First half, +1.5. Wine Time Sports liking your action. Dabby Cab, you are the man. We're going to move on to WNBA, my friend. But the big season ahead, and I will be in touch because you will be a big part of our show here tomorrow. So thank you for all that you do for us, my man.
Love it, man. Hey, I'm gonna look at Hampton's rushing yards because I expect Minnesota to stuff the box so much. I might not bet it, but I also might. I will be on props a lot in college football. I love taking player props in college football, so that'll be a big part of it. It's just I don't have the number yet, so I gotta wait till I get the number for it, and I'll let you know as soon as I do.
Well, we should go live for this game on Thursday night because we don't have Thursday night football till the week after.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'll make a note here to talk to Jeff about the live stream on Thursday night. Dabby Cab, excellent work. Let's get this cash today. A lot of opportunities here on the board. By the way, Rockies have the bases juiced against old Patty Corbin with 1 out. This is a turning point type spot.
Ground ball, double play right here.
The turning point type spot here. Nolan Jones at bat. I mean, if you could pick the batter, you'd want Nolan Jones up there.
That's true.
For the Nats backers. Let's see. And 0-1 count for Patrick Corbin. We got the Brewers-Cardinals game popping off here. By the way, no score in Guardians-Yankees. That totals down to a 5.5. That's +105 to the over. But this is where it all comes to fruition. We are going to move on to the WNBA, Dabby Cab. But thank you for rocking with us today. Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Oh man, it's all about you guys, man. I love capping with you guys in the chat. Nunya, Wine Time. Wine Time will be a huge part of the Saturdays also. So I can't wait to work with you, Wine Time. Billy, DC Capper, everybody in there, man. I love you guys. Jimmy, I love doing this with you. I'll see you guys tomorrow.